What's going on? It's Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. I went and picked up 3 of my favorite watches. I never keep more than 1 watch on me at a time, just because if anything was to ever happen, I still got the other 3 and I don't have to put out an insurance report. But anyways, tomorrow I'm supposed to go and get my watches cleaned. But today I'm going to show you what 4 of those, my favorite watches. They all mean something to me, but more importantly, I don't want you guys going out and putting a diamond, customizing, doing anything to your watches, and I'm going to tell you why. Very rarely do I get an opportunity to break out some of my favorite watches, and some of you were there for the journey of some of these watches, but I am looking to buy and collect more. And so throughout my journey in becoming a minimalist, watches are off the table. I may downgrade to just 1 car and just have one really nice car instead of having a whole bunch of cars, the Porsche, the S-Class, and all of these different things. But the one thing that's off the table is my watches. So let me take you through and give you a little bit of insight on the watches that I like the most. So first and foremost, we're gonna say that my Apple Watch. This is the watch that I wear regularly. When I go to the gym in the morning, I wear it, and I wear it around the house. And so I wear it when I'm asleep. Any opportunity for me to be able to have this watch on. If I'm not outside, I'm wearing this watch. If I'm not outside exercising, I'm wearing this watch, simply because it has a lot of alarms, it has a lot of reminders and things like that. So let's start off with my baby. So the first watch, and this watch means the most to me than any other watch that I have, is my Rolex Submariner. And so this is the baby, right? Please don't say the baby. And you got the date on the left hand side, and it's a Submariner date. I bought this watch, I believe, in 2016. It was my first Rolex, and I was really questioning whether or not I wanted to get a date just, or I wanted to get this. I think that I made the right decision in getting this. I later went and got a date just, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But this watch means so much to me because, again, it is my first Rolex, and every watch that I've bought, as far as Rolexes, are milestone moments. And it's funny because this watch isn't as heavy, and it seemed so much heavier. Take off my Apple Watch. It seemed so much heavier when I bought it, and I'm gonna show you the watch that's the heaviest. Now that I wear, look at it, it's just absolutely gorgeous. See the band, see the bezel. It's gorgeous. This watch is absolutely phenomenal. It means a lot to me because it was when I first had broke into the executive ranks, and I will never sell this watch. I will never sell any of my Rolexes, God forbid, unless I was just like, unless it's the apocalypse. I can't see myself ever selling any of these watches. And so you can see the fingerprints on it. It's actually really worn. See the crown. See the Rolex here, and then you see that there. You see a lot of different things on this watch that means a lot. It's actually really worn, and I've never got it serviced. I only get them cleaned. I don't get them serviced. So I'm breaking these watches out to get them cleaned, but not serviced, because I don't want them really messing up my watch. And you got to make sure that you go to an authorized dealer in order to do that. And so first and foremost, I never do any customization of my watch. I've looked at the bust downs just to get a comparison, to try to understand what's the big deal with them. And they don't mean as much to me, all right? It's not a big deal about busting down a watch, because you have to be classic in some things. Some things you could be flashy in. Even your cars, right? Like my cars, I don't get any customization done on my cars. Everything is based off of being a lot more classy. This right here is my date just, and this is the Wimbledon. So it has the slate dial, and if you can tell, it's got the green on it, the green Roman numerals. And Rita has one just like this. So this one is pretty worn also. If you want to look at the crown and everything like that, and you can see that it's pretty worn here. I like the two-tone. If you were ever to bust down a watch, you would do a two-tone watch, in my opinion, because it just stands out. But I think that this watch is absolutely incredible. I think that it speaks to the classiness of Rolex, and that they can do something a little bit more out there while also preserving their heritage. And that's the biggest thing. It's all about preserving the heritage. And I think that this watch is awesome. Also, let me put on my sub. I got to put on my baby while I'm showing y'all these watches. Think about busting down your watch. Is the only reason you would bust down your watch is if you're trying to be a lot more flashy. if you're trying to make sure that you're preserving the quality of the watch, then you certainly do not do anything to these watches, because these watches will live on forever. So we have the Submariner. We got the Datejust Wimbledon with the slate dial. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the next watch that I want to show you guys is another Datejust, but this one is a lot more classy. So I'm going to show you in comparison to the two-tone Datejust Wimbledon to the Datejust with the white dial, right? White gold, stainless steel and white gold. And so this is absolutely gorgeous. Now I wear this watch. This watch has probably got the least burn of all the watches, right? Rita has this exact same watch right here. I bought her one too. But this watch gets the least burn out of all of them. And it's only because I've been working from home so much, and a lot of what I do is from a content creation perspective. But this watch right here, for comparison purposes, is the watch that I usually put on when I want to be a little bit more classy and I'm dressed up. So when I'm going out and I'm going to date night, or I'm dressed up, or we're going to an event, this is the watch that I bought for black tie events. And so you can see the two watches right here. This is the Rolex that I bought for the black tie events, and this is the one that I bought just because I love the slate dial and the Wimbledon. And then the fourth watch that I want to show you guys is the one that I wear every single day that I walk out the house if I'm not going to a special event, or it's not something specifically that I want to talk about. And it's the Presidential. This is my baby. Now, when I said that this watch right here, I used to think that it was heavy when I first got it. When you put on this one, this is solid gold. This watch is everything. I mean, this is my holy grail. More than a Patek, more than anything, this is my holy grail watch right here. It is the one that you see me on the Millionaire Morning Show on a regular basis, and it is gorgeous. And more than anything, it's the band. The band is the thing that, look at the band. And look how much different the band is than something like this, right? Or something like this. And again, I would never ever bust down any of my watches, or I would never get a bust down watch. If you was to get a bust down watch, you would get a bust down watch understanding that you're not really preserving heritage. You're not really impressing anybody that understands watches. You're not trying to get an appreciating asset because it doesn't go up in value. I don't care what kind of quality of diamonds that they have in it. None of that stuff means anything to a watch collector. What means something the most is whether or not the watch is actually worth something. And there's only certain brands that you can justify from a business perspective in buying. You can justify a Patek. You can justify a Rolex. I know everybody is want to talk about the Richard Milles. I'm not getting a Jacob. I'm not getting any of that stuff. The things that I'm rocking with is the things that have the most value over time, because just as much as it is a crowning achievement, and every last one of these watches represents something in my life and a milestone that I've achieved. And as a matter of fact, this last watch is funny because we used to be able to go in and buy these watches right here. You used to be able to walk into the store and just pick them right up out of the case. It's crazy. Now, you can't get a Rolex at all, let alone a Patek. And you got to have a relationship with your authorized dealer. But you can't get one of these, and every last one of these watches I bought new. Every one of them. Every one of these watches I bought new. I did not, and I almost, because it took me, what, 6 months to get 6 to 8 months to get the Rolex, the Presidential when I ordered it. All of these watches I bought new. And so you have to be careful when not devaluing what it is that you're doing by busting down your watches. And again, that's a rapper thing. That's an entertainer thing. When you actually are a watch enthusiast, you move a lot differently, and you are not going to mess up your brand, your watches. You're not going to waste 50, 60, 70, 100,000, because then again, like, what do you have to compare it against? How can you tell whether or not you're getting finessed by the jeweler that's telling you that, yo, I'm going to charge you? They just throw out some random number, 100,000, 70,000 to be able to have this bust down watch, and then half the time it be used. You don't know what quality diamonds is in it. They're going to sell you anything, and it sounds good, But if you want to continue to preserve the value of your watches as well as be able to wear them, because every last one of these watches is worth more than I paid for them. Even my first one, the sub is actually worth, I believe, double now what I paid for it. And again, I'm just going to continue to give you guys updates. I got a new watch on order. I don't even want to tell you what it is yet because it's worth more than every last one of these watches individually. I have a new Rolex on order. I have a new Patek on order. And then I'm even looking at another brand because I think I want to branch out, because watches are the things that I actually love. I actually love way more than sneakers. I'm going to sell every last one of those sneakers. I don't care about that. I care about my watches though. Watches mean more than the sneakers. So listen, if you want to do the thing that's going to be in your best interest, make sure that you invest in good timepieces and do not bust down your watches, all right? I love you. I appreciate you. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you understand that rappers are not the ones that you need to be following when it comes to making the best investments, but the people that actually know the most about them. Go and research watches online, and it's not even hard. You can start to get into it. Now, I even got whole books that teach me exactly how I need to be moving from a watch perspective. But go and check out some of the channels online that actually breaks down exactly what these watches are worth. I don't think that I'll ever buy Richard Mille. I don't think that I'll ever buy some of these other brands, a Jacob & Company and things like that. But I might get a Tag. I might get an Omega. Those are dope. And we'll see what happens. So listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Make sure you go ahead and get the watches that's in your dreams. And you can spend a bunch of money on the things that you like the most. Just don't waste your money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to holler at you later. Peace.